Do you know someone who's made a mark on the Marana community? Nominate them for a Town of Marana Branding Iron Award or a Youth Legacy Award. Winners will get to attend the Marana State of the Town Luncheon on March 28th to accept their award from Mayor Ed Honey. Learn more by visiting maranaaz.gov/Marana Awards.
People lose their valuables every day simply because they forget to lock their car doors. Don't be another statistic. Remove all your belongings anytime you leave your car, including valuables and weapons. This is a message from the Marana Police Department, reminding all residents to lock it or lose it.
Welcome to Real Talk with the Town, where I sit down with the Marana staff to answer your burning questions about our beautiful community. My name is Terry Rozema, and I'm the town manager for the town, so let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Real Talk with the Town. My name is Terry, and I am your host, and today we got here in the studio our brand new Police Chief, Jeff Pridgett. And we're going to be talking to Chief Pridgett today, just kind of welcoming him aboard and also giving him an opportunity to talk to the listeners and just let everybody get a chance to know him a little bit. So, Jeff, go ahead and say hello to our listeners so they know who they're talking with.
Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Pridgett, your new Chief of Police for the Town of Marana.
All right. So, Jeff, so happy to have you here in the studio, even more happy to have you as our police chief. And before we actually get into talking about police stuff, I got a little icebreaker here for you. Want to know, since you were born and raised here in the town of Marana, old Marana, right, just down the street here, what, a mile away, maybe less?
About a mile away, that's correct, yeah.
What was your favorite part about growing up in the town of Marana?
I think it's just my childhood. You know, I still have a lot of friends that I grew up with, you know, playing football in the streets, kickball, baseball out here, basketball. I cherish those memories. That was the best part growing up out here. A small town community feel. I like that.
Yeah. So born and raised, went through grade school at Estes
Elementary,
Marana Middle,
that's correct.
Marana High School,
correct. Yep.
On to the University of Arizona.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then hired by the Town of Marana Police Department. What year was that, Jeff?
That was 2003 that was hired.
Okay, so a little over 20 years ago, Jeff Pridgett became an officer with the Marana Police Department. And what listeners may not know is Jeff is actually, and I think this is just one of the coolest things, Chief Pridgett is actually the very first police chief for the Town of Marana who started their career with the Town of Marana and worked their way up through the ranks. So tell me, Jeff, how does that make you feel? I hate to throw out those kinds of questions that sideline reporters ask football players and baseball players, you know, how are you feeling right now? But in all seriousness, I mean, that's got to be a pretty neat thing for you.
It is. It's amazing feeling knowing that I grew up about a mile away from here. It's always been a dream of mine to be in some form of law enforcement, and to come here and be the chief of police for the town that I grew up in is just, it's amazing. It's been a phenomenal experience. And I'm just blessed and fortunate to be here working with the men and women at the department.
Yeah. So you've had a long history with the town and specifically with the police department. And without doubt, and this is going to be true with any organization, it's had its ups and downs. So tell me a little bit and let our listeners know a little bit about your experience with the organization, with the department, and what you've kind of learned over a 20-year career that you think has prepared you to be the police chief for this community.
I think for me, the most important thing is the relationships that we've had with our community here. You know, this past couple of weeks, I've been getting out and talking to some of the members of the police department, and we talk about our mission statement that we had, and you were part of that when you came in over a decade and created that. And one of the things that I've shared with them is that even before that mission was created, we were going out there and providing that unparalleled service, that unwavering protection and uncompromised integrity. And it took a good leader like yourself and Ruben Nunez to come in here and really establish that mission and make it tangible with what we were doing back then. So for me, I think that's the most important aspect of policing is just that community engagement that we've had for over a decade that I've been here.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've had quite a few assignments in your 20-year career. So can you kind of run down through some of those positions and talk about maybe some of your favorite aspects of each one of those? Yeah,
so I began my career, obviously, in 2003. 2005, I became an SRO at Marana Middle School. That was a very rewarding job or assignment that I had there, working with the youth. Actually, I was there as an SRO when your son Jonathan was there. We
won't talk about maybe some of the trouble John got into when he was there. But,
not to age myself, but yeah, that was a very rewarding position. And now, a lot of those kids, well, they were kids now, are now adults, and they're still in the community. And I run into them every once in a while, and they talk about their experience as me being an SRO back over there, and it was good ones, that's for sure. But that was a great assignment. So I was there for about a school year, and then I went into our traffic enforcement unit as a motor officer, and that was in 2006, and did that for several years. That was a really fun assignment.
Now, okay, so Jeff's talking about motor cops, man, and motor cops are a special breed. I'm just going to tell you, having worked in law enforcement for a long time and overseeing the traffic division at the city of Tucson for a while, motor cops are a special breed of people. And I will tell you that probably the training that you go through is some of the most difficult training I've ever been around. But, motor cops kind of have a rap. They have a reputation, right?
That's correct.
So, What do you think your reputation was as a motor officer?
I was known as one of the nicer motor cops.
There you go. That's what I'm getting at, man. Because you're either a mean motor cop, man, really strict, or you're like Jeff Pridgett. Yeah.
So I did motors. Like I said, for several years, and then promoted to a sergeant in 2013. And I was on the beat for a while, and then the rest was history. Went to criminal investigations for a couple of years, training, Office of Professional Standards, and then was promoted to a lieutenant in 2020.
Lieutenant in 2020, captain in 2021, police chief in 2023.
Yeah.
So you had a pretty quick rise there in the last number of years.
It was, yeah, very quick.
Was that? Let me tell you. I mean, was that a surprise to you? Is that kind of, you expected that? I mean, what was kind of your thought process as all this is unfolding as quickly as it has or did?
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. I think for me, I was perfectly content with being a sergeant. I think that was probably my funnest assignment that I've had so far as moving up the ranks, because obviously you have a lot of impact, and you can mentor the people out in the street. So that was a blast, but I never thought that I would move up the ranks further than that.
Yeah, I'm going to share a little bit with the listeners, and this is really your time, but I'm going to take some of your time because when I became the police chief over here, and brought over Ruben Nunez as the deputy. And we did a sergeant's process. It was fairly early on, within the first year or so that we came over. And we did the process, and there were a couple of people that really stood out in terms of, this is the future of the organization. And without question, Jeff Pridgett was one of those people. And he has never disappointed me in that regard, Jeff. You've continued to elevate your performance. I think there are a number of things about you that make you the perfect fit for the town of Marana. It's not just that you've been here for 20 years. It's not that you were born and raised here. All of that, I think, is icing on the cake. I think more than anything, it's the character, the person that you are. It's the way you treat people. It's your uncanny ability to see a situation and the people within that situation, and to know what that situation requires of you, whether it's a firm hand or whether it's a arm around the shoulder, whatever the case may be. Your abilities in that area and the respect that you have garnered in your career, not only within the town of Marana and the police department, but throughout the community and law enforcement community and throughout the town of Marana. Mm-hmm. So, those are words coming right from my heart here, and that's high praise. And I'm kind of wondering if you can tell me where all that comes from. Is it a natural thing for you? Have you had to work hard at it? Is it upbringing? I mean, what is it that's kind of made Jeff Pridgett who he is?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I've done a lot of interviews the past few weeks, and the focus has really been on me, but truly I've been fortunate to have some excellent mentors in my life. When I got back, we had this photo reel of previous officers who've worked here at the PD, and I look back at it, and each of those people have had an impact, in a positive way on getting me to where I am today. So, what I am today is a little piece of each of those individuals, and obviously, my mom and my family, my aunts, my uncles, my brothers, my close friends that I grew up here in the community with, they also play a role in that as well. Phenomenal people, great people, and they always made sure that I stayed on the right track. So I think it's a little bit of all those people combined together that make me who I am today.
Excellent. Great response.
Enjoy free live music at Marana's Concerts in the Courtyard, located in the beautiful Marana Municipal Complex, scheduled on third Thursday nights in the fall and spring. With theme nights, food trucks, and attractions, this concert series is truly a family-friendly experience. Visit maranaaz.gov/events for the complete schedule.
Your little athletes have big goals. Marana Pee Wee Soccer registration is now open for kids ages 3 through 6. Visit maranaaz.gov/recreation to sign up now. Uniform t-shirt is included. Join in the fun.
Why would you want to work for the town of Marana? Well, let's hear what our employees have to say.
I feel like working for the town of Marana makes you feel like a person, not a number.
I really wanted to work for the community where I lived.
I have children that play in the parks.
Working for a public entity, it's kind of a sacred trust. I like that. It's an honor to serve.
The town's mission is to provide 5-star service for a thriving community.
To me, 5-star service comes from within. It's a drive to make your surroundings a better place.
Providing community service like the Founders Day Parade, the swim lessons, clean drinking water.
Of course, the benefits are great.
I get sent to seminars and conferences, and
Town of Marana compensates vacation.
We do have an amazing gym facility, alternate schedules as well. Our employees are also able to telework.
My supervisor in particular really cares about our work-life balance.
My colleagues are fun. It's just a fun place to work.
We have a culture of friendship.
The people in general that work here and apply here all want to make a difference in their everyday life for themselves and for the community.
Let's make an impact on our community. Visit maranaaz.gov/careers and apply now.
So tell me, Chief, what do you foresee being the biggest challenges for the police department going forward?
So our number one challenge I see coming up here in the near future is we have a lot of processes coming up, from a lieutenant's process, captain's process, and also a sergeant's process. So getting that leadership team put together, all going in the right direction with our mission and our vision is going to be a bit of a challenge, I believe. And then also the professional development that comes along with that. But like I said, we've got some great people here that help bring each other along the way, and we'll capitalize on our strengths, and where we're weak, we'll help lift each other up. So I see that being the biggest challenge for us going forward.
Yeah, and you do have, you hit on something. You have many, many wonderful people in that organization.
Yes.
From the top down, you have great personnel, people of high character, and so the future's very bright, I believe, for you guys. Tell me a little bit about recruiting right now. And, what I'm hearing is people are struggling to get people. Are you guys struggling to get people through the door?
Yeah, this past year has been pretty difficult in getting some qualified individuals to come here, but it's not unique to us. This is something that's, every department nationwide is facing. I went to the FBI National Academy a few months ago, and talking to some of the other executive leaders there, and they're all facing the same issues. People are coming in and they're doing great on the physical aptitude tests, the written tests, but then they're falling short in the backgrounds because of things that they have in their history. So that's hurt us and even other agencies quite a bit.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. We get somebody all the way through that process, and then you get to the background, and it's like, man, you're not going to be able to be a cop with us
Exactly.
because of some of these dumb decisions.
Yeah.
Now, you touched on it briefly. I'm glad you did because I was going to get to it here in a minute, but let's talk about it now. It's the FBI National Academy.
Yes.
So let our listeners know what that process is like, because it's not like, a week away from home. It's a pretty significant commitment, and it's a lot of work. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for any of our viewers that have ever been to a university or a college and lived in a dorm, is very similar to that. 10 weeks of being away from home. I was fortunate enough. I didn't have a roommate. I lucked out.
Yeah, no kidding.
But other than that, it was a great experience. There's a lot of great leaders out there. There was some classes that I took, and I just wish that we could have had a camera in there and just could have live streamed some of the conversations that these individuals were having, about their departments and how passionate they were about their employees and the communities. And it was just it was a great experience. Great people at that academy.
Yeah, excellent. And it's, what was it, how many weeks? 12 weeks?
So mine was 11 weeks because of all the holidays. Typically it's 10, but because of the holidays and the session that I went through, it was 11 weeks.
11 weeks, yeah. Now, you talked a little bit about wanting people to hear and be able to listen in on some of those conversations and the passion that people had for their police departments and for the profession. And I know you share this. This is something that you and I share, certainly, and that is a passion for the profession and a passion for the department. So I'd like the listeners to be able to hear directly from you. Where's that passion come from? What are you passionate about? What makes you even want to do this? Because it's a big job and it's a stressful job. So why Jeff Pridgett? Why do this?
Yeah, to see the people that I work with come in every day, and they have that passion, they have that drive, and it's a fun profession. It's very rewarding as well. And to know that you're coming in here and you're making a difference, because we truly are. That to me that's so fulfilling, so life fulfilling. I love it.
Yeah.
And to see the men and women in this organization, how much they pour their hearts into making this a great work environment for each other, a safe environment for our community to live in, just makes me want to be part of that. It's phenomenal feeing.
Yeah.
Hard to describe it in words, but it's great.
I think you did that very well. Described it in words. And so let me ask you this, because I think there's a lot of departments across the nation that don't have the same benefit that perhaps the town of Marana has, and maybe you can touch a little bit on this, having just spent a whole bunch of time with leaders from around the country. But the level of support in this community, where would you kind of rank that, and how do you think that compares potentially to other departments across the nation?
I would say I would rate it at a 10. And that's not just with us. I mean, it's the support for the police, it's the support for the other departments within the town of Marana, our organization. It's the support with each other in the community. And you go out to a park on the weekend and you see all the youth out there playing sports, and the parents, and they're cheering their kids on, and they're supporting each other. And that extends to other things that are going on in the community. So, some of the larger agencies, they don't benefit from that. They're larger communities, and it's really hard to be that close knit. And that's always been one of the unique and the great things about the town of Marana, is that even though we're growing pretty fast, we still have that small town feel. So I would think that everybody just coming together.
That's fantastic. And I don't think I could agree with you more on that in terms of the level of support that we have from this community.
Yes,
not just for the police department, but for the town as a whole. I think the support too from our council, just phenomenal. So a huge plus for the people that work here in this organization. And anything, Chief, that you'd like to make sure that our listeners know about you and about the police department?
Yeah, I would say the main thing is that we're always here for you. I mentioned it before. Don't ever think that you're a burden. When you want to have an issue or anything going on, I talk about, you call a cop, you get a cop, whether that's in person or it's via the telephone. We're going to be there for you. We're going to reach out to you, walk you through the simplest problem or the most difficult problem. So we'll always be there.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this episode with Chief Pridgett, and I'm certainly hoping that you all get a chance to meet him here in the near future. We are having, so everybody knows, on this coming Wednesday, which I think is the 24th.
That's correct.
Is that accurate?
24th, yep.
This coming Wednesday, the 24th at 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. See, I don't have my notes in front of me, so I'm having to ask as we go along. But this coming Wednesday, the 24th at 3 o'clock, we're doing a swearing-in ceremony for Chief Pridgett. And I got to tell you, I'm really looking forward to that. All of the family members, the department, people from the town, the community, everybody's welcome, and I think it's going to be a beautiful time. So appreciate all of you joining us for this episode, and make sure you send us your questions. We love hearing from you. Until next time.
Submit your questions by visiting maranaaz.gov/realtalk, and we'll answer them right here. To receive notifications for new releases, remember to click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also, please follow the town on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date on current news and events.